Hey everyone, it's Summer with the Starry Sun, and today I am going to jump in with a VR to Crochet Witch Tarot here on YouTube into a journey through the Forest of Enchantment. This is not that deck. This is Tarot at the End of the Rainbow because she suggests starting with the spread, using a different deck before we actually start the journey with the Forest of Enchantment Tarot. So on this, she has 5 questions that you answer, you know, kind of like your starting out point. And so I pulled cards for that. And here's what I've figured out. So it's about, you know, you're feeling lost, and currently I am. I got the 5 of Cups, which is a little bit of boredom, a little bit of depression. I've been stuck out here on the property for a few months and only been able to get into town here and there. So it makes sense that the 5 of Cups came up for me. And then after that, I got how I feel about myself, and I got the Page of Pentacles. And I feel like this shows like a lot of growth in me, and that sometimes I can also get overwhelmed, which is kind of the case here. And when I get overwhelmed, that kind of stifles my creativity and helps with that lost feeling. And then I also pulled the King of Cups for what do I know to be truest about my life. And I have a lot of self-love. I have a lot of unconditional love in my life right now with myself, with my hubby. And he's also kind of like my benefactor. He's there for me, and he's out here with me too. So that's pretty important and pretty true in my life. The next one is the 4 of Swords, which was for how I relate to connectedness, which I found was interesting, the 4 of Swords being that connectedness, because the 4 of Swords is about, you know, self-love, it's about rest, it's about contemplation. There's a lot going on in the card with the 4, and it's also like a foundation. 4 is a foundation number. So what I really got out of this is that I relate to connectedness because I like having that foundation of being connected, but sometimes it's not always there in the way that I think it should be there. So I do have self-love and I do have relationships, but sometimes one or the other can not balance itself out. So what I really need to do is kind of figure out that balance. And while I am sometimes balanced, sometimes I'm not. And the last thing is what I hope to find on my journey through the Forest of Enchantment, which I got the I believe that's the Page of Wands. No, Knight of Wands, sorry. And this is just, you know, ready to head out on the journey. This is, you know, committed to the exploring, to connecting, and maybe even finding that lost part of my connection along with it. So let's see how it goes. So the next part is actually where we go through the cards. And she has a spread out because today was day 1. And we start with the white hair. And he's fantastic, and we talk about it in the book too. And you're starting out with the white hair, so we're doing it on the major arcana, not on all the cards, just following the major arcana and doing a journey using the major arcana through the Forest of Enchantment. And this one you only pull 4 cards for, and the first one that I pulled to go with the white stag let's see if I can put these back in order. Here we go. All right, so the first one that I ended up pulling was the Seeker of Challenges, and it was for what I fear about the unknown, which is very interesting because this is a really aggressive card. The Seeker of Challenges is kind of a challenge to me. It's aggressive in nature, it's confrontational, but it's like I have yet to discover kind of confrontation. It's the I have the ability to deal with confrontation, but it's harder for me to do. It's a work in progress, but the unknown is scary because it's an unknown which can lead into confrontation, which I'm not too thrilled about. So this is kind of like, I'm afraid of the monster under my bed kind of saying when it comes to the unknown. How can I be at peace? So on my journey, how can I be at peace with and starting this journey and that invitation, because the white stag's all about the invitation, right? And I got the 7 of Visions. And there's many possibilities. There's so many that can actually diminish peace and optimism because you're overwhelmed by a ton of options. So instead of trying to see them all at once, I can be at peace by just concentrating on one choice at a time. And by doing that, and as long as I'm following the choice that makes me happy at the time, then I should be able to find that peace and optimism that's there. The next one in this invitation is how can I learn to let go? And I don't really know exactly let go of what. So I just kind of ran with it and ran with the idea that we're going on this journey and I'm letting go of something in order to move forward on the journey. And I got the Weaver of Spells. And it's not about letting go so much as finding the joy in life or thing that you're doing again, finding the joy in it. Letting go of the lost part and refocusing on what's right there, one step at a time, and doing something to bring joy in. And then my final card, and she had, the original question was, how am I, or what am I hoping to find on this journey, which is very similar to the last question in the previous spread. So I didn't want to do that one again, so instead I changed it to, what am I being invited to learn about myself? And I liked that much better. And that came out to be the Seven of Boons. And the Seven of Boons, I'm being invited to learn that there's always a door when I need one, but I don't have to take the first one available to me, and that on this journey, and even within myself, I need to take time to learn, to see what calls to me, and if true, choose to not choose a door, and maybe even wait until I'm ready to do so. I'm being invited to think, to experience, and to feel along this journey. And I thought that was just perfect. And it asks in the book, actually, like, which door calls to you? And I have a hard time figuring that out, but I'm kind of being called towards this one right here. I don't know what that means, but that's the one I'm being called to, and it's pretty green. And so we'll see where this stag takes me, but I don't feel like the stag, like she was talking about it in a different way, but I'm viewing the stag as like an invitation, not to the unknown, but into something that, something I can like look into more with myself and my spiritual, an adventure more than just the unknown. It's not just what's on the surface. The heart looks at me in question. Will I walk with him, follow him into the depths despite my lost and fearful feelings? Will I choose to take the steps forwards? He's not going to sit around and wait for me for long, but he's going to give me the opportunity to make a solid decision. And I'll step forward, one footstep at a time.